Hello, this is Walter, along with Ernest J. Robinson, Sergeant, Marine Corps Sergeant, and y'all guys know him. I don't really have to introduce him, but for the new people, this man is sharp, all right? And if anybody should be, in the president, I would trust this guy as a president. I really would, because he got a good heart, and he's a very intelligent man. But anyway, I'm here with Ernest Robinson, and today we want to talk a little bit about birthright citizenship and what it means to the African American, which it shouldn't mean too much. But, don't forget, we fought for birthright citizenship by going to court with Dred Scott, because the initial thing with birthright citizenship is that they were denying citizenship to African slaves that were born here, all right? And they didn't have any legal standing. And that's what prompted birthright citizenship laws to be, or the 14th Amendment, rather, to be amended, 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Ernest, you could correct me. But that was, that's something that we fought for. That's where it originated from. All right, from slaves not being denied, or not slaves, but they were freed, after the end of the Civil War. And they wanted to be, treated like, they wanted to be citizens because they were born in this country, and they were denied. All right, the Supreme Court denied them, and then it went to the Congress, and people got upset about it, and this and that. And it was codified into the 14th Amendment. So that's what we want to talk about today, and the ramifications that it has on African Americans. But I do want to let people know, especially immigrants, minority immigrants. That means Chinese, Japanese, South American, Venezuelans, Cubans, all of them that came here and had kids without being citizens, and their kids are citizens. That will impact them. Okay, it should impact Trump's wife. I can't even remember her name. Oh yeah.
First, Melania.
Yeah, Melania. I get them mixed up with Ivanka. But Melania and Barron, they should be subject to be, if they're going to go through with this, then they should be deported too. All right, because she came here not a citizen and had a baby with Donald Trump through marriage, yes. But you can say the same thing about her. You can say the same thing about a lot of people. All right, but we do want to go into it so that we fully understand it and we can speak to it. All right, so birthright citizenship, let's talk a little bit about it before we bring Ernest in, our subject matter expert here. Okay, all right, birthright citizenship, also known as jus soli, J-U-S-S-O-L-I, is the principle that individuals are granted citizenship in a country based on the location of their birth, which means if you're born in the U.S., you're automatically a United States citizen under birthright citizenship. All right, and this concept has been practiced in various forms throughout history, but became more widely recognized in the United States through the passage of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution in 1868. A bit about it, to give you some definitions around it. All right, the 14th Amendment was adopted in the aftermath of the Civil War and was intended to ensure that all individuals born in the United States, regardless of their race or background, would be granted citizenship. The amendment states that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. That's basically the definition of birthright citizenship that we have on the books. Ernest, talk to me about birthright citizenship.
Oh, so one, let me clear it up. I'm a subject matter expert about a lot of things. This is not the number one thing on the list. But birthright citizenship in itself, or just a pathway to citizenship, is what's being challenged right now. So in the military, as a matter of fact, so my grandfather immigrated from the Caribbean here and served in the United States Army from 1942 to 44 or 45 during World War II. I'm not 100% certain of his citizenship, but I digress. Members today in the military.
I'm going to say they could probably come and get you. Go ahead. Never mind.
No, I mean, my grandmother was born here, and my father was born here.
I'm just joking, Ernest.
No, I know.
Right.
But I'm just saying, this clarity here for everyone is,
Okay.
but one of the things is that we have military members today are from many different countries, from the European countries, from Asian countries, from African countries, South American countries, Central American countries, who have entered into the United States at one point in time, whether their parents were seeking asylum, et cetera, et cetera. They're now of age to being able to serve in the military. Many of them have joined the military in order to being able to gain their citizenship, right? That in itself could be questioned if the paperwork has not been done. Birthright citizenship, obviously, is that regardless of the situation of the person, however they got into the country, if the child is born in this country, then the child becomes a U.S. citizen, and then the parents of that child are able to then become anchored in the United States in order to then be able to care for that child. So that is a part that is being questioned and enacted on is the fact that individuals have allegedly illegally entered into the United States, had children, and therefore now they're here. So then now we had the different acts over the years to being able to protect those citizens that are here. And for all intents and purposes, many of them are taxpayers. And then that's the thing, like, you're legal enough to being able to have a job, pay taxes, get a driver's license, and do everything, adding to the wealth of this country. But then because of some arbitrary, fear mongering or whatever case may be, you have an entire administration that are trying to, again, to being able to attack and weaponize the Justice Department, police, Homeland Security itself, and local PD on otherwise very respecting citizens.
All right, but I think that birthright citizenship is only a part of what's going on.
Yes.
Okay. As part of, he has this mandate that he believes he got from the people. Maybe, yes, he got voted in because he said a lot of this stuff prior to getting in. There's no big surprise here so far. Okay.
Well, actually, so he actually attempted this back during his first administration. Mm-hmm. He did challenge this when he first got in birthright citizenship. It's just that it appears that it's aggressive now because this has literally only been 10 days, being in office. But these are things that have been pursued over the last 8 years, and so it's just now it's something that's coming to a head. But please continue.
No, well, the thing is now, because I want to loop in this problem. Now, it's not a problem for us, but it is a problem for immigrants from the South. All right, and now you got ICE going around, which I wanted to get into. I think it's good for this particular topic. Birthright citizenship could tie into this problem with them rounding up immigrants and sending them back to their countries of origin, and the problem with what is it, Colombia? That the president of Colombia refused to accept a couple of plane loads of deported immigrants. All right, and then Trump said, "Okay, if you're going to do that, we're going to slap a 25% tariff on you." So the president of Colombia, of course, he capitulated because who is he compared to the United States, right? The United States leverages their power. They know how to wield power. That's one thing I can say about the U.S. Okay, whether positive or negative, that's one thing that they do. Okay, but the mere fact that people are afraid to go out the door, they're hiding. They can't go to school. They can't do this. They can't do that. And on top of that, they opened up Guantanamo Bay to 30,000. They're going to expand that. But I would not want to be, in that gray area, between having a green card and a job and not. I wouldn't want to be in there because when they come to pick people up, they pick you up by the way you look, or they approach you by the way you look. So if you look South American, of Spanish descent, of African mix, whatever you want to call it, then you're subject to being locked up and sent back to Guantanamo. Now, that's going to scare a lot of people. Guantanamo Bay is no joke.
No, it's not.
And it's no joke down there. It's hot. And you only got like 7 or 8 other prisoners, from Al-Qaeda. Okay? You got about 7 or 8 of them down there. All right? The mastermind of the World Trade Center, he's down there. Khalid Muhammad or whatever his name is. So you got 35. They're making room. You don't think they're going to add space to that? Yes. But I don't envy an illegal immigrant. I don't envy them. Okay?
So I think there's a little soft spot in here between people who are quote unquote access the country illegally and those who are undocumented. The issue is that everyone who is undocumented can be constituted as illegal.
Okay.
There was a Florida man, Trump supporter, whose wife was deported. She was in the process of getting her documents together and everything else, and ICE came and took her.
Oh, they took his mail order bride?
No.
No, so folks don't know that people, go online and they order brides from these countries like Japan and all these, Orientals and Europeans, Russians and stuff. And they pay for it, and the person comes over and they get married and that type of thing. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's not the situation. Or well, at least I don't know the.
You don't know the situation.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know the situation.
Just skip that part then.
Yeah. But that's something that has happened, and there was a Texas teacher who had suggested for ICE to come and get the kids out of the schools, and so kids have been taken out of schools, and again, many of these are law-abiding citizens. Now, the stretch is within the caveat is in the Constitution, where it says about anyone who is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, which is where the birthright citizenship comes in at, because anyone who is subjected by that, that's the reason why they're able to have children and become citizens.
Yeah, but they're gonna eliminate that. That's going to be eliminated, according to them. That's one thing they want to focus on. They want to stop that practice. People flying over here, having babies, so that they be U.S. citizens, and then going back, or they're staying. All right, that's their foot in the door to the U.S. for a lot of folks.
I mean, but see, and unfortunately, that's the thing that's always been in place. And to your point, right? So it's always been there, and there have been more people who have come here legally, visas or some other shape, form, or fashion, and stayed in the United States, and therefore not necessarily, they weren't crossing the border, but they flew in some legal way, visa expired, work visa expired.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Vacation, and they just
and just stayed.
Yeah, a lot of them like that.
Right. And then life happens, and then, and so, but it's also disingenuous because many members of Congress and everything else have also benefited from that very same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people. Right. But what I don't understand, well, I don't. It's a big question mark for me, is that, people from these countries like Guatemala, or Honduras, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, and this and that, they think they're white. They don't play the black card whatsoever. They play the white card. Okay, not realizing that when we were marching during civil rights and this and that, we were trying to achieve equal rights, not only for us, but for everybody that was not white. Okay, and we are the first ones to offer a hand to them. Okay, and they just slapped our hand away, and that's it. But now, since they got all these issues with ICE, which is the new Gestapo, that's where I look at ICE as the Gestapo, because he can flip that any kind of way he wants. You know what I'm saying? And come after us one day. But I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But, my mind, I'm open to anything, any eventuality. Like I tell y'all guys, be prepared, be vigilant. All right? Know what's going on in your environment. That's something that you should practice all the time. But knowing that this guy is is going to do anything to appease his supporters, the extreme right wing, then we got a problem. We have a severe problem. It's not just an immigrant problem. He's going to base that on, I think that they're saying that undocumented aliens that have committed crimes. But if you look at it, 50% of the people that they took in haven't committed a crime.
So there's a residual effect, and that's what's happening. So there has been some comparison and contrasting between the Biden administration, the Obama administration, and obviously now the Trump administration, or just past administrations in general, but just specifically the President Obama and President Biden's administration, whereas there have been targeted deportations. Each administration has done it. That to being able to target undocumented citizens who have committed crimes. The contrast is, or the comparison is that they've all done it. The difference is that in the Biden administration, if they're targeting me, right, and we're in the same room, right, we're brothers, whatever case may be, but you're not a criminal. You didn't commit any crimes. They are only coming to get me. They know that you're also undocumented, but you haven't committed a crime. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to take you. What is happening in this administration is that anyone that's in that room and you're not documented, everyone's gone. So everybody, man, woman, child, it doesn't matter, elderly, grandma, everyone is going. And so those are the differences between those administrations. Now, the thing they did, it's also been noted that President Obama has deported the most in his administration than either Trump or Biden.
Right, that is correct.
But again, those were targeted deportations. And so as far as looking at reducing crime and things of that nature, or for those who were, again, undocumented and not, being productive citizens, whatever the situation was, that was actually done. And I think it's been done in a more decent and in order way than what is currently happening right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, this reminds me of how they gathered up the Jews during World War II, in a sense. Okay. And the concentration camp here is Guantanamo Bay. That's where I look at that.